This is the Angry Video Game Nerd Volume 7 DVD, and I'm going to do another exclusive tour of the Nerd Room. I've done these before, but I don't think I've done it in HD with a wide-angle lens yet. So I will get to the video games, but, I think it's good to see how the room has changed over the years, and this has definitely changed since last time. Basically, I always wanted to have a section of the room devoted to movies because, as you know, I'm a movie fan as well as a video game fan, so I really need to have both. And a lot of these tapes are tapes that I owned since I was like 12 years old. These are the same tapes that were on my wall when I was 12, and these are actually the same posters I've had too. They've gotten kind of beaten up over the years, but basically this is all VHS tapes and laser discs and CEDs, capacitance electronic disc, which very few people know about, as well as beta. On the website, on Cinemassacre.com, we did a lot of videos talking about these old formats, so you should check them out. So this is really just a nostalgic throwback of mine, just trying to recreate the experience of being able to walk into an actual video store and seeing physical copies of the movies, as opposed to just browsing them on the internet. This is an old TV here, which I really love. It still works. It's in black and white. But what I love the best about it is that it says AC/DC on it. Yeah! Now, one of the most nostalgic things about the video store was renting video games. These are the actual cases that they used to have in the video stores for these games. So you would open it up, and if you were lucky, the instruction manual would be in there. That one doesn't have, actually none of these have it, but that was the way it used to be. You'd open it up and there'd be the instruction manual. But a lot of times people would, take them home and they wouldn't put them back. So people were assholes, basically. So yeah, this is very, very nostalgic. And video stores always used to have this curtain here where it's basically the adult section. You have to be 18 to go through. But for me, it's just the nerd room. So basically, this gave me more room to, store like Game Boy games. I have another shelf here. So basically, these whole shelves are new. So I didn't really lose that much space in the nerd room. I only gained it. Because, what am I going to do? Have another Bugs Bunny fight in the room? I've done so much of that before, and, to put that much time and effort into the videos, it's really like, now I just try to stick to the game reviews as opposed to making them into mini movies. So I try to, I want to make movies separate, make some, fresh, new, original ideas. Right here, we have the cardboard cutout of Mike Tyson. These were the store promos, basically. This is very rare. Mike found this. Oh, and actually right there you have the Nintendo 64 rental case back there. So it's kind of, just recreating the experience of being in a store. And, that's the way it was. Most of this is probably the same since the last DVD. This is all the Nintendo Power issues up to number 100. Always have my lights set up here. I'm always filming. It's very overwhelming to have so much of these because I always want to include all these games in videos, but say I did a video for every one of these games in the collection, that would take a lifetime. So one of the things we found was a much quicker solution. Rather than trying to give each game like a script and make it into a big production, we started doing the James and Mike Play series, where literally me and Mike just sit on the couch and play some games, and then Mike edits it. So it's all very easy on my part, and by doing that, we've been able to take a look at more games that we haven't really, gotten a chance to. In this corner here, it's all the Nintendo games. I think I've already showed these a lot. Have some interesting things here. The VIC-20 I found in my mom's garage when she was getting ready to move recently, and I dug that out of the garage. I didn't know that was in there. So you never know what you're going to find. And this one someone sent to me, and this is very interesting. It's a Sega console of some kind for kids. I've never tried it yet, but I look forward to, experimenting with a lot of these things. With all these old consoles, it's kind of tough to get them working. So you might not have the right connection, like the Aquarius. A lot of these, I have some things from other countries, so sometimes you need a different kind of, connector. This right here, you could say, is the ET Shrine. As you can tell, people definitely want me to review ET a lot. Look at all these ET games. They keep sending me ET games. And look, I have a bunch of them in the box too. And some of them are sealed. And I have different versions of it too. Like this is the European one, I think. So I have all these ET games. And this right here, this is one of the store, displays. And one of the things that happened with these store displays was that when the game flopped, they just, threw them all away. They trashed these things. So this is very rare. This one up here is a little more common, so I've heard. But the one down here, Mike found because he's been looking for it for years and years and years, and he just had it on his eBay list. And I think one year recently it finally showed up. And this is he told me there's like 2 or 3 of these in existence. So it's extremely rare. I'm very honored to have this, and I will try to continue to take good care of it. So yeah, and actually E.T., it's one of the most interesting games on the Atari 2600, but even so, it would be a very quick review if I would have done it. Like in the early years, if I would have done E.T., it would have been maybe a 5-minute video. I would have said some interesting things about it. And, but I think this whole story behind the game is what makes it more interesting, and that is sort of, why I decided to make it the subject of the Nerd movie. So I hope I haven't hyped the review too much, because I just didn't know that the movie would take so long, and that I'm still working on it after all these years. But basically, if you want to hear my thoughts real quick, because it's a DVD exclusive, is that it's not actually the worst game of all time. It's fun to call it that, though. It's almost contagious, because we all love to have something that's called the worst, like Plan 9 from Outer Space being the worst movie of all time. But it's not really true. It's actually one of the most innovative games on Atari, because there's actually a goal, and there's things you have to do in it to, solve the problems, and it's different every time you play the game. There's like a randomizer. So it's actually not at all true that it's the worst game, I think. But hey, it's the worst game, and the nerd hates it, and the nerd because that's one of the great things about characters, is trying to give the characters some kind of kryptonite, some kind of weak spot. It's his deepest, darkest fear, and he has to confront it. So that's what makes good stories.